I'm seeing the massive mobilizations for ICE, and I think that that's great. However, I can't help but wonder, where is this massive mobilization for victims of deed theft? Deed theft is something that is happening predominantly to the Black and Brown community. Many of the victims, descendants from slavery, and these are all American citizens. These are American citizens, descendants of slaves, many of them, getting their homes literally stolen from them in a very violent and brutal way, as I got to witness for myself the other week. But this is a genocide that's happening. And I like to pay attention to what issues do our political leaders view as safe. I think that I think that maybe like my conspiracy mind, I don't think it's so far out of the realm of possibility to think that the Uniparty is using the human rights abuses of ICE. It's a gift to the more progressive leaning politicians. They get to pretend that they still stand for human rights in some way, but it doesn't threaten any like financial or political power. Who are the groups that are benefiting from deed theft, which is land theft, which is dispossession, which is a genocide? Who are the groups that are benefiting from this? This is the donor class. This is the Epstein class. These are the Zionists. These are who their donors are. Many of the comments that I got from like the videos that I posted on my social, like my Instagram, and then also on my YouTube, my small YouTube, is, oh, Zohran, like, where's Zohran? Like, oh, once Zohran becomes mayor, then he's gonna tackle this, or where's AOC? They all know about this. They all know what's happening. This has been going on for obviously centuries, but it's happening in the most heinous way in New York City, as we see. But it's not on anyone's political platform. It's not in anyone's speeches. This is I think, the most heinous thing happening in our country right now. And it ties directly to Zionism, but this is an issue that none of them want to touch, because the politicians know, just like Zionism, if they take a strong stance on this, this could be the end of their political career. These are their donors. So they choose to sacrifice off the victims of deed theft in an attempt to save their political career. And they can use ICE to still demonstrate to their liberal or progressive supporters that they still, somewhat care about human rights. None of them are touching this issue, because this gets to the heart of what we're fighting against. I think that this is the issue that we all need to mobilize behind, especially in the United States. But I would imagine that this is happening all over the world by many of these same groups. But I can only speak for what I've seen in New York. And this issue is an igniting issue. This is the issue that we need to all mobilize behind. The dispossession and the genocide and the theft of land and resources and generational wealth from mostly Black communities. So if the Palestine movement and the movement against ICE can mobilize behind this issue and connect these dots, connect these lines, I think that this will be unstoppable. So I'll just also share some footage from last week when I went to the appellate court. I am so blessed that I got to meet this group, Stop Deed Theft. It's an advocacy group working in New York City. If you are in New York and want a amazing advocacy group to learn from, to mobilize with, to organize with, or if you're a victim of deed theft yourself, you need to connect with them. It's Stop Deed Theft. I'm still learning about this issue myself, but what I have come to find in this short time is that this has infiltrated every single aspect, every single facet of our society, every single, especially like public entity too. The cops are in on it. The courts are in on it. The judges are getting paid off. The attorney general, the governor, the everyone is in on it. I first connected with this group and learned about this issue because my friend sent me that video of the Sanford Solney sentencing hearing that they tried delaying.
A courtroom confrontation today after the long-awaited sentencing in a major deed theft case was unexpectedly postponed. News 12's Shakti Dennis was there.
Tensions ran high inside the Brooklyn courthouse today. On one side, victims of deed theft. The other, supporters of Sanford Solney, a disbarred lawyer who was convicted back in June for stealing 11 Brooklyn properties through a fraudulent real estate scheme targeting mostly minority homeowners in financial distress. His sentencing was supposed to happen today, but last night, some victims learned that it had been postponed. Lawyers say Solney hadn't met with probation because of the Jewish holidays. Still, some victims came to court anyway, only to find dozens of Solney's supporters there too.
He told me that I should not come today. Why can't I show up today as a victim? Why didn't you call all of them and tell them not to show up?
I saw that and I was like, oh my God, I have to go and learn about what's happening and meet this group. And I'm so happy that I went. I started following their page and I saw that morning, the morning of the sentencing of Sanford Solney, there was another criminal case that was happening that morning. And I was just like, oh, like, let me just go and check this out as well. I'm so happy that I went. It's the criminal case in the morning of that morning. It was a gentleman who's had his multiple properties stolen from him. And he, just like many of victims of deed theft, is facing a criminal case. And this is not the first criminal case that he's faced. He's also been jailed multiple times regarding all of this. But yeah, the victims of deed theft, when they try to defend their property, when they try to fight back, they are the ones that are arrested and charged criminally. So that's the reality of what's happening. So when I went to the criminal court that morning, I got to meet them. And when I was there, that's when I heard with them another deed theft was happening at that very moment. So I got to go with them to Patchen Street. And when we pulled up, that's when like the first thought I had in my head was, oh my God, this is the West Bank.
They cut off the gas. They cut off the gas. Our medicine is on their way to put everything back because they vandalized the property. That's right. And look on the side of the
It's literally, they're literally sledgehammering this woman's home in front of her, this elderly woman who is screaming and crying and begging them.
Take everything. No more walls. Look what they did. No more walls. Look at this. Mother of falling evil.
Wow.
And they walked out of here.
Captain.
And the cops are like threatening to arrest her. And these guys are so brazen because they've been getting away with it for so long, but they are just so comfortable. They know that nothing's going to happen to them. They own the courts. They own the police. They own everything. That's why they do it in broad daylight. But I think that that's how we know that community, that's all that we have at this point, community. Because when we showed up with our numbers, with our cameras, with the big group, that's the only point when the thieves and the police started to act different and started to, this is why we need to mobilize behind this issue. Obviously, there's not just the metaphorical links to Zionism and what they're doing in Palestine, but there's concrete links as well. Those will be uncovered.
We are in the second department. These are the top dogs in the second department.
They cheating. All their courts up under them cheating. Because who they protecting? The lower court judges. Who they protecting? NYPL, the Supreme Court judge. They protecting the lower court judges. They commit a fraud against us. You come here and they throwing you off. The second department is over Brooklyn, Queens, Nassau County, Suffolk County, Westchester County, Richmond County, 6 New York counties.
Right.
That's a lot. They sit over all of the courts. If the lower courts do you wrong, you gotta come here. And these judges are lying and cheating.
You come into our neighborhoods and taking our homes.
They use the laws to criminalize us, to imprison us. It's a form of genocide. Exactly. They use the law to justify genocide. Exactly. They use the law, they use the court systems to justify population control. You think they control our population. That's why the majority of our people are in prisons right now.
That's right.
Concentration camps right now. They use the courts to justify the theft of this land.
Yeah.
They legalized the enslavement and genocide of the African population. So they don't represent justice, they represent genocide.
Yes.
They represent vehicles of oppression, vehicles of colonialism. And we represent a vehicle of liberation. They are international thugs. That's what they are. Judges don't represent us. These politicians don't represent us. They represent the attack on us. You know what I'm saying? They never intended us for us to own property. They intended for us to be the property. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they attacking our ability to own homes. Yes. They're attacking our ability to have someplace comfortable and decent to live, because that's been the true nature of this government.
Let me tell them this part.
Okay, but can you go this way? We're
recording.
This is entitlement. It's colonialism.
This is what we used to, man.
Look, that's the opposite.
When we asked for him to be recused for violating Judiciary Law 14, he gathered 3 other judges, Judge Wan, Judge Ham, and Judge Dowling. They were each supposed to review my appeals and my motions, and they were each supposed to independently make a decision. But what they did was they all ruled together. No dissenting judges. That means I don't have a right to go to the Court of Appeals. That's what they were trying to block. That's a violation. The judges are acting together to block our rights to the Court of Appeals. Every word. And the court knew it. So that means that either they didn't.
Who's that at the door?
Oh, I don't know.
Who's that?
That might be Justice Miller. That is Justice Miller.
That's right. Justice Miller, bring him out here.
Justice Miller is 76 years old.
Wow, he's still working?
In the state of New York, every judge has to retire by December 31st of the 70th year of their birthday. So when they turn 70, they have to retire. Wow. But they can ask for an extension every year.
He still work.
He liked the power. Anyway, this year he's out of here. He can't get any more extensions. So he's
the one that asked for extension. He's suing?
I saw it, right? So he is suing the state of New York for age discrimination.
Oh my God!
He wants to stay.
Look at that. And we need him here in court on his report.
He lies on the record. He wants to stay on the bench.
To continue lying.
There's another judge that committed crimes against humanity, and that is Judge NYPL, who is married to Lori NYPL.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Lori NYPL was the straw donor. So you donate, you donate to Lori NYPL, and then Judge NYPL gives you the promotion that you need.
Rico.
This is what's going on in the courts in 2025. We're going to continue to shine a light on this court system so that the roaches can scatter.
That's right.
They stole a $5 million property from me in Brooklyn.
See the fraud.
And the judge,
cases.
the attorneys had actually admitted to forging my signature to Judge NYPL.
Wow.
And he still gave them my house. They admitted that they forged my signature on the documents they submitted to the court and that they claimed was mine. And he still took my property. They stole my property in Jersey. It's a criminal syndicate, and I'm not the only one. When I look on NYC, there are lots of people who are at the mercy of these same attorneys, and they're going in front of these same judges, and these judges are compromised. There's another plaintiff in the Supreme Court, and Judge Appel sat on their case with the same lawyers. That case got dismissed for some reason. They brought it back to court, and Judge Nappel was on it again. I mean, what are the chances of all the cases that you're going to keep getting Judge Nappel in your case?
Right.
That is done purposely.
Right.
That is why when Judge Nappel took over the Supreme Court, when he became the administrative judge, he made the commercial department oversaw by 3 judges only. Him and his 2 friends, Mark Partnow, and who was the other one?
All of them crooks.
Maybe Judge Dow. There, I don't know. But they were sitting there and they was just allowing the plaintiffs to commit fraud. I think that's why Judge Nappel was put in Supreme Civil to be in charge of it, to steal properties. Yeah. Because under his rule, he has stolen so many black people's properties. Oh yeah. And whenever someone tries to help, he removes them. And there's like
from his own, from the courts?
Court, yes. Court-appointed personnel that was overseeing residential foreclosures, and they said that the bank's attorneys weren't cooperating, so they started making the bank attorneys cooperate. They went and had a meeting with Judge Nappel, and she got removed. And now there's no one there protecting the homeowners. They're not on the record. When you go into court, there's no stenographer, there's no recorder. Right. And when we asked for the record, he said, "Oh, you didn't ask in advance, so there will be no record."
That's bullcrap.
So isn't that illegal?
Right.
You would think it would be, but this is what he's doing, and he's getting away with it. My property, I had 2 properties side by side, so they wanted that because they're doing so much revitalization in our neighborhoods, knocking down our homes, building up bigger properties, doing whatever it is they want, and we're losing out. We have nowhere. Where are we going? They stealing our properties and then evicting us. You have judges protecting judges. The grievance committee, you have attorneys protecting attorneys. Where's the justice for the people?
That's it.
Where's our justice?
Take your uniform off, you know different. And if your family's getting in this situation, I'm going to tell you. I hope you never get in this predicament.
We need one of the ladies that's a part of our coalition who was a correction officer wound up losing her property because they decided that they wanted her property. Okay, so she wound up losing her job because of this guy, Danny K. Chung, who gave her 4 months in jail for perjury because she stood up and said, "This is my property," which it was. She's on the deed. But because we can't say the other side who wanted the property so bad, this is where she is today. So I say that to say that nobody's safe. Okay? No black, no brown, no Hispanic. You're not safe.
Let me tell you something. In New York, in this city, and I'm possibly the entire state, the judges, first of all, so many lawyers are corrupt in this city.
Yeah.
But the good lawyers, they have chains on them by these crazy judges. Right. Because the judges retaliate against them. So the attorneys are afraid. Right. Like the judges come after the attorneys. I had Judge Nappel tell my corporation's attorney that he was going to hit her with sanctions, and she did nothing wrong. Meanwhile, the plaintiff's attorney was in there doing dirty stuff, forging signatures, calling her names, being nasty. He did nothing, but he thought he was going to sanction her. But she did nothing wrong. They were saying, this is her name, that is her name, she's unqualified. They never responded to the merits of our case. They just sat there saying crazy stuff. Oh, that's her sister, oh, that's her husband. Oh, she's not a so-called attorney.
So when all of this is happening, like they don't have a court stenographer.
No.
So like none of this happened on the record.
Exactly. In September, we were before September 2024. We were before Judge Nappel. We asked about a stenographer. He said, "Oh, you didn't ask in advance, so there is none." Judge Nappel started performing. He started making faces, started making voices, mocking me, all types of craziness. It was like I never seen anything like that happen before. Well, I've never been in a court before, but they forged my signature 100 times. My signature means nothing. You understand? In my case, it's a 300. It's a lender, a commercial lender who is now starting to do residential loans. They have a net worth of $300 billion, and that's a lot of fraud.
Is this loan funders?
Yes, how you know? If you look on NYC, you will see there's a lot of cases, and they have a securitization vehicle called Hoff I Grant to Trust 5. That's loan funder, but no one knew that. It took me a year to figure it out. There's a case going on in Chicago where they stole these black investors' properties near the Obama Center in Chicago. There are cases in New Jersey. There's a case in California. There was a case in New Orleans. And it's all loan. There's a case right now, Caddick v. Loan Funder, that's in the Massachusetts Federal Court. Those documents had loan funders' corporate structure, which is what we're trying to find. We asked the judges to make them give us, and they were fighting us. But it was a category loan funder. They asked the judge to steal the documents. If you're not doing anything wrong, why is your corporate structure hidden? You're a lender. There's no proprietary things going on there. Come on, we getting bamboozled in this country right now.